Albert AWOL, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 151 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think we're all warmed up at this point. So we're going to tell you now that we know Tom's going away next week, so there will be a wait list, and we've had a chance to talk before this episode. You
mean we had a chance to record the whole other episode?
Yeah, we get to refer to our future selves at various points in this episode, which will be fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So because I am gone next week, if anybody does want to catch me in the parks, I think I talked about this on the live show, but I will be in the parks from the 10th to the 10th to the 13th, only a couple days. So I will be around. If you want to meet up, send a message to us, and if you can find me, then you can maybe get something. But you got to find me. So
I don't know. I might be down at Thanksgiving if I can't sell my points, my contract. It's out there. It's sitting.
Thinking about coming now, right?
I mean, I'm going to have to. What else am I going to do? Because I can't RCI at that point. I'll just have to go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, hopefully you can go.
No, I don't want to go. I want my money.
I feel like it's going to sell.
I have no interest in going.
Really? I thought you wanted to go.
No, not really.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if I ever want to go to the parks again.
What?
Yeah, I might just be Vero and Hilton Head all day, every day.
Forever?
Forever.
That's crazy.
I might.
Right.
I mean, the thing that's terrible is I don't even need to go to Hilton Head. That's the worst part. Like, I have no real reason to go to Hilton Head ever again.
Yeah.
Which kind of
stinks.
stinks.
Like saying I have no reason to go out to Banff, but it's still close enough that...
Why do you have no reason to go there? You have relatives there that put you up for free?
No, I mean, it's literally an hour drive from my house. Like, it's...
So I'm saying, why would I go to Hilton Head and use points when I can stay at my wife's parents' house?
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the only reason. Like, I have no reason to go there. Like, do I want to spend points or stay somewhere for free? Stay somewhere for free sounds good. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll just use my points on Vero and I'll just go for like 4 weeks. I'll go for a month every year. I would do that.
That's crazy.
I would do that.
Well, I mean, that's not going to make for a very interesting podcast anymore if you're only going to Vero.
I mean, I could be the Vero dude, though.
Yeah. Lots of people ask about what to do at Vero. I mean,
I'd be the man.
Yeah.
That's true. You would be the man for that.
Yes. All right. So let's see. What do we got? I got a holiday gift guide.
Yeah.
All right. I want to talk about holiday gifts. I mean, I think it's almost getting to the point where it might be too late this year. Things are taking forever to ship for everything in general.
Yeah. I've already bought, I mean, I know you do your shopping throughout the year and way early, but for me, I usually don't even start until December. So I've already started buying some things. So earlier than usual.
I would say that some of the things to look out for again this year, as always, and I think I mentioned this last year, is I'm a huge fan of Pruzy. Like, super huge fan. I wish they sponsored the show. I'm such a huge fan. And what you can buy on there.
What is that? I've never even heard of that.
So it's a place that you can buy clothes for. And the first time last year, I was a little kind of nervous about buying from them. I can tell you the experience is absolutely great. So you can find things that are name brand at ridiculous prices. Like, I think my parents just got my son, a coat that was like, I want to say $279 for like $59. It's ridiculous. Wow, but you have to be on there every day and you have to order stuff immediately. So I can tell you, I was looking for some hoodies for my daughter now that, she's outside a little bit more for tennis and it's cold before, she gets the tennis matches. It's, I was able to get 2 body glove hoodies that were originally $49 each for $15 each. You had to buy 2. But like, it's ridiculous. I love that place. So Yeah, that would be somewhere to kind of look at as you're doing your holiday shopping. This year has been super difficult for my kids is because they're all kind of out of that toy stage. My daughter's still into Legos. So what I've been doing throughout the year is just typing Lego sales and clearance on Amazon and just waiting until I can find stuff as it goes on sale, which I think is another great idea, especially if they're into Legos, is to make sure that you're kind of buying stuff when it's on sale as it goes, on sale throughout the year. So those would be...
Legos are so absurdly expensive,
Yeah, and you can find stuff on sale. It's very difficult, but you kind of have to be looking all the time. So I think that's another way to go in terms of looking at, gifts for people that are Lego fans. So those would be the two things for now. I mean, I'll have some other ideas, but it has been a hard year. Looks like it's going to be a lot of clothes this go around for the boys. So we shall see. But I do have... something I've been thinking about recently, and I'm going to say this. I don't think Disney will ever be as good as Disney was before pandemic. That's it. I'm going to put it out there. I see all these people complaining recently. I think that it will never be what it was, and people just need to realize that there's a new Disney in town, and it's never going to be as good. And that's just what happens sometimes.
What do you mean by that?
It's never going to be as good. It's never going to be as magical as it was. It never, ever, ever, ever. Money is too involved in Disney. There's too many things going on. It is never going to be the Disney of 5 years ago. It's just not going to be. The rides may get better, but it's never going to be that same Disney feel.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that. Because I went in April, and even with all the restrictions and everything, it was still the same place we've been,
No. Disney's just not the same anymore. There's too many changes. There's too many just things going on. I mean, read the groups. They're just, the Disney experience is different. You may have a Disney experience that mimics what you thought it was before, but think about it. With the Fast Pass gone, with there being less cast members in the park, with there just being less magic, it is not going to be the same as it was. I don't think that's going to come back after the pandemic ends. I think that they've seen a bottom line that exists, and things are going to be what they are now. They're not going to all of a sudden remove Lightning Lane, right? And that's a pretty big change in terms of how things work. So everyone expecting Disney to go back, it's not going to happen. They've moved on, they've adjusted, and they've seen a different world. And this is the Disney that we're going to have.
And you're right, Damon, because this is the same thing that's been happening from even when I was a kid. Disney is not the same as
absolutely
it was, when I was growing up, because there's things now that don't happen that happened when I was a kid. But to that point, though, that I think the caveat that people need to understand there is that doesn't mean that Disney is worse than it was. It's going to be different, and it's going to change, and you're going to see new things happen. Right now, yeah, with the pandemic and everything, you're right. It's very much about, making sure they're not overspending and all that. But I think you have to kind of wait a couple of years and see where things land.
So this is what I'm going to tell you, and this is kind of what I was thinking about. So let's say you go to the same flower shop all the time, right? Mm-hmm. Every time you go into the flower shop, you get your wife flowers, and they give you a free card that you can give to her with the flowers, right? Now, let's say you go into the flower shop and they tell you that, yep, here's your flowers, but, we don't have those cards anymore. Sorry, they just didn't come in. Okay. You still go there to buy flowers, right? Now you keep buying flowers there and you don't get the cards. And now it wasn't that the card doesn't, that they don't have any more cards. They just stopped ordering the cards because they can sell those same flowers without giving you the card. Kind of what we're seeing here, everybody, right? It's not like people are not going to go to Disney. So if they're going to continue to go to Disney, this is what is going to happen, right? Like, it is still a business at the end of the day. And I just don't think that we're going to see the same Disney. And Trevor, like you're saying, that's not necessarily the worst, and not that Disney is bad, but it is different, right? Mm-hmm. And I just think that people need to kind of move past that. As long as they're, again, everyone always says, well, then, if you want Disney to be back to the way it was, show them with your money and don't go. That is not going to happen, everyone. Disney is always going to be busy. So it's just a matter of, Disney finding that middle ground to what works for them in terms of a business and keeping everyone happy enough. But like Trevor said, I don't necessarily think we're going to see that pre-pandemic Disney again. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's going to be different. It has to be because, the Lightning Pass, no Fast Passes, it just is different. But I think that people need to realize that, and I think everyone would be much happier.
Yeah, I mean, I think just in general, people don't like change, right? So, like,
that's the bigger theme here.
By the way, how did we get on this off of your gift guide? I thought we were doing about.
I was just thinking about that because I saw a lot of posts about what Epcot was looking like these days, and it just was a little disheartening in terms of what I was used to. But then I just realized that, hey, maybe that's just the new world order, and that is what it is.
But what do you mean by what Epcot is looking like these? I mean, it's under construction, but
no, just the amount of cast members, how that they're maybe a little bit overworked, so they're not always as pleasant as they were, and maybe clientele and their rudeness that comes along with the people that are at the park, right? Yep. It just seemed like we're seeing a lot more of that than we used to in the past. That's all.
They're definitely still trying to hire cast members, though. I mean, like they're trying to staff back up again. In fact, I think Disneyland is back to like 80% of the cast members it had before the pandemic, and they're still hiring, right? So, and Disney's trying to build back up. And of course, Epcot's going to be a little bit different because you're missing all of the international people that run the pavilions, right? So, but I mean, I think that's starting back up too at some point. So I get what you're saying. I just don't think it's permanently changed. I think there's changes that happen throughout the years and throughout CEOs.
Of course, it's permanently changed. There's Lightning Lane, right? Like,
yeah, but before that there was FastPass Plus, and before that there were paper tickets, and before that there was nothing, and then before that there were books.
There was no cost for that.
No, I understand. Okay, yeah, but you used to have to pay per ride, like.
Yes, but that's a different change than fast passes existing, right? Like, and it was another interesting discussion about how they're letting people into Lightning Lane and what the ratio is now of, regular line versus Lightning Lane. Like, things are just different. Things are just going to be different. And it is more of a business, I feel like, than maybe it was 10 years ago.
Didn't you want paid FastPass for the longest time?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's great. I think that there should have been regular FastPass and paid FastPass, personally.
Well, there is regular FastPass. It's standby line.
Well, that's not FastPass. No, that's
though. I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was a joke.
But I feel like it's definitely different. And I'll tell you the truth. A lot of that in what I've seen on the boards, I don't know if it's just more people complaining per se, because there is that. More people complaining in general on the boards doesn't necessarily mean there's more unhappy people. It just means there's more people willing to complain because maybe they're not doing anything else. But I'll tell you, from what I see on the boards recently, like, I'm not rushing back. Like, I'm not in this, like, running back to it.
The thing is you also have to keep in mind that the people that opt to complain are a vocal minority.
Absolutely.
And that I guess what I take from that is that, for all the people that, post those things that you're talking about. Yeah. I always see people in the comments going, what are you talking about? I was there last week and it was fine. And it's all anecdotal, right? Like it's person to person.
I feel like I see more people complaining as a percentage, and I don't know what that is about, right? Like you said, it's possible that it's just more people feeling like they can complain, but it's not necessarily more people having something to complain about.
I feel it's more a problem, and honestly, this is partly why I've taken a bit of a step back from social media in general, is that people, we're going to get a little bit meta here, is that, with everything going on in the world, people are using it as an outlet. People are using it as a place to vent their frustration, I think, which makes it seem worse than it is sometimes.
I could see that as well. It's just, again, what it does is it makes me not necessarily rush back, and I wonder how many other people it's doing that too. But again, as I'm saying, the parks are still full, so it's not like, people aren't going. I'm just curious to see how it all turns out, but I don't think we're ever going to see what we saw before. I think the world is different, and I think old Disney is dead and there is a new Disney, and we just have to see if it's, the same in terms of entertainment and money and satisfaction. I just don't know the answer to that yet.
The whole thing, old Disney is dead. This is the same as the Ghost of Christmas Present in A Christmas Carol. Where it is. It's, it's a cyclical thing, and people don't necessarily realize that as they go. They think Disney held the way in their mind, the way that it was like 10 or 15 years ago. But the truth is that Disney has been constantly dying and being reborn. And at various points, and I can attest to this too, is there has been points where I've gone to Disneyland and Disney World, both, and been there and been like, oh, this is actually not what I wanted. Like even I went around 2003 to Disneyland, and it was not the best trip. Like it wasn't memorable at all. And this was shortly after 9/11, like it was, a couple of years after. You could feel it. You could definitely feel that there was a different vibe in the park. There was, people were not there. But then going, a couple years later, and even, going with my son, different feeling as well. Like people, I guess people like to treat it as an absolute, that it's like Disney is either good or Disney is bad. And that's not the case. Right now it's not great. It's not, the best version of Disney that we all want to see in our minds, but that doesn't mean that it's, awful. But yeah, to your point, everyone has to kind of decide, is this something that you want to go and experience, or do you want to hold off and wait until things calm down a little bit? That's part of why, I could have gone on my trip in October, but I canceled it because we looked at it, kind of like what you're saying, Damon. We looked at it and said, nah, I don't want to be there right now. That doesn't make sense.
I think it's really all about the blue cards being gone. I just don't know.
Are we going straight to the blue cards?
That bothers you? Really?
I still actually, though, I'm telling you. So Chris said something. I have a set of blue cards for my new contract in the envelope. I know what they are because it says on them what they are. They are unopened collector's items. I'm just telling you right now.
All right. Can't wait to see those on eBay.
They have my name on that. Doesn't necessarily help, but like they are in the envelope still.
Well, then they're limited edition because
limited edition.
They're signed.
I feel like I saw this coming as soon as they started offering a digital version of the card. I felt like they were always going to transition to a digital only version, but
I mean, people are definitely complaining because they don't want to be tethered to their phone. But
Okay.
Look, it was really great being on a cruise and truly not being tethered to my phone. But I mean, I don't wear a watch anymore, so I still want to know what time it is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know.
I'm
know.
sorry, but even like I know what you're saying about not being tethered to your phone, but when do you go anywhere at this point without
your phone?
Without your phone?
Nowhere, but it's frustrating.
You wish you could.
I wish I could. But I mean, at Disney, it's almost impossible. So look, listen, here's the thing. Them saying that your DVC card is on your phone is not was not the only thing you needed your phone for anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and plus, you only need your blue card for discounts and to get into the lounge, right? So theoretically, if you don't want to use your blue card at all, you don't have to. You don't have to get those discounts. And I mean, for the longest time, Damon, you said I don't even think you were using it for discounts.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Now I do. Now I'm crazy about it. But yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, this is convenience. I like this because I want everything in one place. I want to have it on my phone. I want to be able to just pull up my phone.
I mean, were people making fake plastic cards? Like,
I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's about the reason they put expiration dates on it in the first place were because people were, people that
contract.
Exactly. Right. And so this is, I think, a way for them to control when people don't have a contract anymore or don't have the benefits anymore. They can just shut it off. You know what I mean? It's much easier for them to do that.
Yeah. Because before, even the plastic cards, it would say, it expired in a year or whatever. And let's say you sold your contract, that year, you still have a whole year of using the blue card without a contract.
Yeah.
It's silly. I blame the people that always want to work around the system.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
can you just stop?
I like how we started talking. Damon was doing a holiday gift guide, and then somehow we ended up on the blue card.
No, Damon transitioned us there very nicely, and
I try.
Yeah,
Do you not have any more holiday gifts to get this year? Is that?
Man, it's tough this year. This year has been tough, man, just in terms of what we're getting. So, yeah, I don't know. That's it for now. Prusy, go visit Prusy. Tell him we sent you for no reason.
I thought you were gonna tell us last time you did specific gifts, hey, this is the gift to get this year. But,
Yeah, I just don't know if I have any of those this year.
All right. Well, I put that on there because I thought you wanted to do it.
I did. I want to talk about Pruzy. Go visit Pruzy. Pruzy.
I'll admit, I've this year I've been struggling to find gifts for my two nieces. They're 10 and 8, and
Gotcha.
This is kind of a weird transition phase. Kind of getting what you're talking about, Damien. Like my son, he's already at that age where, he's 13, so it's either clothes or the latest video game or whatever. So that's not hard. But my nieces are kind of all over the place. So I'm really at a bit of a loss to find something for them.
Oh,
I mean, it's good. Like, they're into a lot of things, I guess is the problem. Like when I ask my brother about it, he's like, oh, they like, they like Harry Potter. They like space. They it's a lot of like overarching ideas, but it's like, I don't really know where to go from that. Cause like Harry Potter, it's like, well, they already own all the books. What else am I buying at this point?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then space is a very, I don't know, like that can go 600 different ways. So I'm struggling with that right now. So I guess, Damon, if you happen to stumble upon anything, I would be interested to hear, if there's something, like what Tom was saying, if you find that there's something that is like the thing to get this year, but we can come back to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right, so should we do listener questions? This is all over the place today,
Yeah.
more than usual. And I mean, we're just coming off the live show, which, by the way, was a great time. We should say that was a lot of fun.
It was.
I had a lot of fun. I mean, I think we appreciate everybody that joined. By the way, that was a really good time, and I think it's kind of funny. I didn't expect us to max out on the amount of people that were coming into the room, but we did several times where there were too many people, so it was kind of great.
That I think that shows how the show's been evolving.
Yeah.
That we've obviously got a lot more people engaged, which is good. Like keep it coming, guys.
Yeah. By the way, if you didn't catch it live, you can watch it on YouTube, and it's also on our Facebook page. So pretty easy to look for. You just look for videos on Facebook, and then also just on the YouTube page, it's under the live show. So if you didn't watch it live, I mean, we did put out the podcast version, which is not as fun because you don't have the visuals, right? But and we tried to explain things too for people that were only listening audio only. But it is a lot more fun to watch the video, I think.
Totally.
Yeah. So
all right, I think
you think Damon ghosted us? You think he's gone?
I think he's gone because we like I said, we already were doing the wait list before this, so I think he's out of time at this point.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris wants to know what attraction you would want to be evacuated from and why. I like this question. This is a great question to me.
I know which one I want to be evacuated from again.
Wait, which one were you evacuated from in the first place?
Big Thunder Mountain.
Oh man, that's a great one. That's a great one.
And specifically, we were on the second lift hill, which meant that when they evacuated us, they had to take us out this little side door and underneath the attraction.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And, this was a once in a lifetime thing. This happened in 2006. As we were getting evacuated off the ride, the fireworks were starting. So you could hear the fireworks reverberating through the structure of the ride, which was, pretty interesting. And I would love to have that happen again. But I guess to that same theme, it's not necessarily which attraction I want to be evacuated off of, but any that have like very elaborate sets, I want to be evacuated in a place where they can't just walk you out. Like they can't walk you along the track.
You have to walk through the ride.
Yeah, you have to go like behind something or down like a weird side area that you normally wouldn't see. That's what I want.
Can I give a top 5 here instead of just one? Because I have 5. All right. So I think number 1, I mean, Big Thunder's a good one, right? So Big Thunder's on the list for sure. But I also think I would want to be evacuated from Space Mountain. Space Mountain with the lights on, walking through there. That would be fun. I'm going to go with Pirates. I'm going to go Haunted Mansion. I definitely want to be evacuated at a Haunted Mansion. I just think that'd be kind of creepy. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming they turn the lights on, but it would still kind of be creepy, right?
Now, would that be you would want them to walk you down the track, not take you out a side door? Because I think that would kind of destroy it if they took you out a side door.
Yeah, maybe. I think this should be higher on my list. Maybe I should say, in no particular order here. Spaceship Earth, I think would be a cool one.
That would be a hard one.
Yeah, it would. That's why it'd be cool, though. I don't know about you. I've always wanted to see the top level when you're at the very top. There's all this stuff up there, and I don't know what any of it is. It looks like there's a mountain, and I'm guessing it's the elevator shaft or whatever that they use to transport stuff up and down. But there's just shadows that you see. I would love to see what it is. I'm sure it's nothing exciting, but I just would love to see the lights on at the very top. I want to be evacuated from the top.
That room where there's the moon and space and everything.
Yeah. When you get to the very top and you're just seeing like the projection on the ceiling, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see that. There is a space station up there that they've blacked out. I know that.
Yeah. So there's that. What other ones? Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember now. I think I lost my last one here. I think that's all I got. I think so. That was probably 4.
Dinosaur, maybe.
Dinosaur would be interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm.
If Universe of Energy was still around, I probably would have said that right. But yeah, Dinosaur, I think would be kind of interesting. Even with the lights on, it'd be kind of creepy, I think.
Yeah, again, that's another one where it's it feels very, very claustrophobic, and I think it would be a very different feeling without all the lights and effects and everything. Mm-hmm. I would be curious on that one. And then also same thing is, seeing what kind of back doors they take you out of.
Yeah, I agree. Man, I feel like there's more I want to say. Like, I mean, I think Seven Dwarfs might be interesting. I've always wanted to get evacuated from the People Mover, to be honest.
The thing about Seven Dwarfs or any roller coaster is that you're never getting, I mean, there's stop points on the tracks.
Yeah.
But even like us getting evacuated off of Big Thunder, it was just lucky that we happened to be on the second lift hill when it broke down.
Well, see, this is what I'm saying. Second lift hill, Seven Dwarfs, right? First lift hill, not as exciting. Second lift hill, you got to walk through that whole indoor scene, right?
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's a bit of a crapshoot, right? Because sometimes like a ride, like those rides, if they break down, you're getting to the end of the ride anyway, and then you're just walking off like the last 10 feet. So...
How would they evacuate you off of like Peter Pan?
That's a good question.
Like, do they come in with like some cherry pickers or something and take it? Like, how do they do that? Throw some ladders over that? I feel like it can't be ladders.
I guess, have you ever seen how they evacuate pirates with the planks?
Oh yeah. No, I've seen. I saw the video recently too of where they in Disneyland they have the people the cast members getting waiters and
they get in the water
people.
They walk up and push the boats,
which is hilarious kind of. But although, can I say this really quickly, Trevor? I always laugh at these things where it's like Disney guests were stuck on Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like, this happens all the time. Like, this is not news. This happens.
It's local news outlets that got nothing else to report on. So
I just saw it all over the internet like it was news, and it's like, man, come on. And I guess because somebody took a picture of the cast member pushing the boat. Mm-hmm. I guess that made it a thing, but I'm just like, this isn't like a news item. This stuff happens. Stuff breaks. Like,
it does, and the only reason that it's news is the same reason when we got evacuated off of Big Thunder. They were very clear. They said, we're taking you through this door. No video, no photography, nothing, right? So you never see behind the scenes stuff, right? Disney doesn't want you to see that. And so even, the cast members jumping in the water in Pirates, that's kind of breaking immersion from their point of view. So
sure.
They don't want you to see that. And of course, people reporting on it the way that they do just further, I think justifies why they're like, we don't want this to be a thing. Right. So it is silly though. Like, people get evacuated off of rides all the time. So it's not something that's newsworthy for sure, but it's definitely conversation worthy as we're having right now.
Well, yeah. Well, I even see places like, I'll call them out. I don't care. Disney Food Blog. I've seen them post before, like, this Disney attraction got, evacuated today. And it's like, okay, well then it was open again 10 minutes later. So why is this a headline? Who cares? Like
Exactly.
it's just all that clickbait stuff, that just gets. But I also want to mention this too, Trevor. This is random, kind of, but I saw that somebody posted the Nautilus, and I sent it to you, the hull of the Nautilus just sitting in the parking lot of the TTC, right? And actually Becky pointed out to me, and I didn't know this actually, that they do it as a photo op for the marathons or for the races that they do, which I had no idea.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm thinking to myself, I sent it to a friend of mine who loves 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea like I do, and he was like, "Oh man, I didn't even know they had that still sitting around." And that was my reaction too. It's like I thought that they had all been scrapped, except for the one that was at I think they sunk one at Castaway Cay, right? But other than that, I thought they were all gone. But then I thought to myself, I was like, man, Disney at Disney World just has a bunch of warehouses that are just filled with this kind of stuff from old rides. Like I would 100% pay good money to do a tour of the warehouses where they keep all this stuff that they used to just have in rides that they just never throw away. You know what I mean? Like go through one of those warehouses, because we did that when we did the Keys to the Kingdom tour. Like they take you back to where they keep the parade floats, and like it's in one of those warehouse kind of situations, and that was the most fascinating part of the tour for me. Not even going to like the utilidors under the park, like that was cool, but it's also kind of just like, all right, I've seen video of this before. You don't really get to walk very far. Like if they would have let us walk from the front of the park all the way under the castle to the back end of the park, that would have been cool. But they're like, no, you can't go anywhere. You just have to stand in this spot right here. But no, I would love to go back and just see all the random stuff they still have, sitting in those warehouses, like the Nautilus.
You know what that reminds me of? The Backlot tour. Where they exactly. They had a whole section where like there was the ship from Flight of the Navigator and props from Pirates and all that kind of stuff.
Like that like midway stop right in between, like where you had to wait to get on the tram. Is that what you're talking about? Where they had the prop warehouse?
No, you were on the tram.
But you're talking about on the actual tour too, where they had the plane and then they had all.
It was larger props, but they had them like sitting out and it was part of the tour.
But they also had that part where you were waiting in line for the actual tram, and there was like shelves of stuff too. Yeah,
same thing. But thinking like I kind of wish they would bring that back as an experience, right? And like what you're talking about is offer going through a Disney vault as an attraction of sorts would be interesting, and that kind of combines the the behind the scenes and the attraction, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I would love to go see that. I mean, that would almost make me consider running a race if I knew the Nautilus was going to be there, so I could take a picture with it.
No, still not going to get me running just to see the Nautilus.
I mean, can I walk the whole thing? Like,
probably. Yeah.
Because
I'm sure. Picture. I'm sure Becky can motivate you to get to the end.
Well, it's rare that I find out a thing that I didn't know, and I'm not saying I know everything, but it's like usually when I hear like, you see some of those articles on Facebook, it's like 20 things you didn't know about Disney. It's like, I probably know all of them. Like I've heard them before. They get recycled over and over. Right. And then this one was just like, I saw this post about the Nautilus just chilling in the TTC parking lot. And I was like, that's really weird. Number one, because I thought they didn't have any left. And number two, because it's just sitting in the TTC parking lot. Why? And then I put that out on our Discord, and Becky was like, oh yeah, they do that as a photo op. And I'm like, I've never seen anyone post a picture with the Nautilus. Like if I had taken that picture, I would have posted it on social media immediately. It would have been everywhere, So I just think it's funny. It's not something I'd ever heard of. So
yeah, I feel like the Venn diagram of 20,000 League fans and Run Disney people is probably not that big where they're like, oh my God, I came to see the Nautilus, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Listen, let's not talk badly about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea here. Like,
I like it too. I mean, I guess you haven't seen the original Oregon either, have you?
The original what?
The Oregon.
No, I don't check my.
It's in Haunted Mansion in Disneyland.
Is it really?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
The organ that one of the ghosts is playing is the organ from 20,000 Leagues.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
more
it's
reasons
like
to go to Disneyland.
It's that one. Yeah, well, I want to. At some point we will. So it's that ride is just one of those memories I have from being like a really little kid going to the parks, and it's just like remember being so fascinated by it and so like excited about it and, you know, going on it. And it's one of those things that stuck with me, you know?
You and me both, but for different reasons. But I went on it in Disneyland, so.
Well, yeah. I went on to Disney World, so.
But for me, it was actually one of the scarier moments of my childhood. But
oh, really? Well, listen, I think I probably was scared. I think I was probably also terrified about it. But it's oddly just like if I was terrified by it, it's gone from a memory of terror to a memory of like, oh man, this was a really cool thing that I did when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. I don't like deep water. The idea of you know, giant squid or sea monsters or anything like that. So yeah. It sits in a different part of my memory.
Wait, but still though, like
I still can't deal with deep water. So
all right, yeah. Fair enough.
It's irrational. I know that, but
well, fear, a lot of fears are, so it makes sense. Yeah. So anyway,
we really are totally off topic today. Do we want to try and get through a couple more of these listener questions?
Yeah. Let's do it. Do it. All right. Good. You want to do this? All right, you want to read Aaron's?
Yeah. So Aaron says, when visiting Disneyland, if you can't get a DVC room at the Grand Cali, what would be your next go-to hotel on or off property and why? This is our current situation. Need advice. Okay.
This is totally a question for you.
Right. And so in my experience, even if you can't get a DVC room at the Grand Cali, I've stayed there on cash before and it's still worth it. So that's, for as expensive as it is, the location, the hotel and everything, I feel is worth it. Your other options there for on property are Paradise Pier and the Disneyland Hotel itself. If I had to choose between those other two, I would actually go for the Disneyland Hotel before I would go for Paradise Pier, because we did stay at Paradise Pier and it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had staying at a Disney hotel. And the main reason is, unfortunately, the Paradise Pier was a hotel that was they bought it from another company. I can't remember which one, but the previous company decided that it's like a 16-floor hotel and there's one elevator bank, and which means that getting in and out of that hotel, in the morning when it's really busy, and then coming back at night, getting up to your room is super frustrating because there's no stairs. The only stairs are a fire exit, which is actually on the outside of the hotel.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So it's like we were on the 6th floor, and I remember it taking me like 35 minutes. I actually had to go back upstairs to get something as we were going out one day, and I had to go back upstairs, and it took me like 45 minutes to get upstairs and back down, waiting for elevators because they were so full with people coming up and down for the parks. So don't stay at Paradise Pier would be my first recommendation. But as far as other hotels go, so on the other side, so where I was talking about is Disneyland Boulevard. That's on the, sorry, I have to get it's on the west side of Disneyland. On the east side is Harbor Boulevard. And there's a bunch of good neighbor hotels along there. And honestly, I've stayed at multiple good neighbor hotels, like going back into the early 90s, with my parents. That's where we stayed when we would go. And, coming up to, when me and my wife, would take trips, and taking my son and all that, we did stay at these good neighbor hotels. And I can't think of a single one that was bad. Like as far as hotels go, they're not, it's not a Disney hotel per se, but you're literally across the street. Like it's not like you have to worry about a tram or anything like that. It's you walk down to they've actually got an overpass now. So you just walk down to the walkway, you go straight over Harbor Boulevard and you're at Disney. So, if you're really concerned about not spending a ton of money staying at the Grand Californian, Like I said, any of those good neighbor hotels, even going a little bit further, there's a Howard Johnson, I believe, and they have a shuttle that they run to and from Disneyland. It's very different from Disney World, is the thing to keep in mind. It's a lot more compact, and you don't have to worry so much about like bus systems or monorails or anything like that. Because everything is in walking distance of Disneyland. The one thing to keep in mind if you chose to stay at the Disneyland Hotel is that they do have the monorail station is in downtown Disney. It's not actually at the hotel. You walk like 2 minutes into downtown Disney. It's right there. But, the monorail takes you straight into Tomorrowland. It doesn't drop off at the front gate. It actually takes you inside the park, drops you off at Tomorrowland. So you actually need a park ticket to get onto the monorail. But it's a good way to get in and out of the park. We've actually, even staying at the Grand Californian, we actually have used the monorail. Like we've taken the monorail out to downtown Disney, got off, and then walked back towards the Grand Californian because it was easier than getting out of the park and walking back through the park directly. And it just so happened because we were in Tomorrowland when we decided that we wanted to go back to the hotel. So, yeah, it's like I said, it's very different, but yeah, don't be afraid to look at the good neighbor hotels because they're not, it's not the same as Disney World where it's like on property is preferred and the best thing. The good neighbor hotels are very usable because of the fact that they are in walking distance.
You could also rent out your points too and like use the cash to book cash for Grand Cali.
Yeah, you can do that too. Like I said, I personally, I would take the Grand Californian first and foremost because I've stayed there a couple of times. Fantastic hotel, and nothing beats being able to walk straight into California Adventure. It's literally connected to the park. Yeah. So, that's an experience. And also to that end, like, staying at Disneyland Hotel or Paradise Pier, you can still walk through the Grand Californian to get into the parks. It's a bit further of a walk and doesn't always feel great at the end of the day. So,
yeah, it is kind of nice to just like, that's one of my favorite things about BoardWalk is just how close it is. And you just kind of like, oh, let's go back and take a nap,
yeah.
And you could just walk right back. It's a quick walk and you go take a nap and then you're right back into Epcot again. I love that kind of setup. It makes it really nice.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I guess that would be the closest comparison is BoardWalk to Epcot it's the same feeling as the Grand Californian.
Yeah. All I can do now is Google things of Google 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea things. Anyway.
All right. Let's change gears on that completely.
Yeah. Dan says, now that the Jingle Cruise is here, what other rides would you like to see with a Christmas overlay? Dan, we've been over this. Life Day at Galaxy's Edge. Come on now.
Life Day Smuggler's Run. Having to deliver the presents to the Wookiees.
No, here's you could do Star Tours, right? So like, and there is a scene in Star Tours, and I only have gotten it once where you do visit the Wookiee planet, but I think it'd be funny if you visited the Wookiee planet and they were celebrating Life Day.
On Life Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
You ruined their Life Day. You ruined their Life Day celebrations with your presence of your Star Tours vehicle.
Okay. All right. I got one. This one's going to go totally crazy. Tower of Terror. So
that's interesting.
So instead of the current Twilight Zone storyline, overlay it with a Christmas Carol. So the ghosts visiting and kind of building that story, but it's still being, the drops, but, hitting, like, maybe it's like, the lead up, like past and then present is like you're getting onto the ride. And then the Ghost of Christmas is Yet to Come is like the drop, like in the show where, where he puts Scrooge into the grave, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe that becomes like the drop, right?
Okay. That's it. I like it. It's an interesting idea.
Little different. Yeah.
Yeah. What else can we think of here? I can think of some other ones. Man, I have to tell you, I'm really part of the reason I'm really excited for my trip, besides just going, is also seeing holiday decorations. I really do enjoy the holiday decorations at Disney, and it's nice to go. I mean, it's probably going to be decently busy, but not like Christmas busy, right? So, let me think of another one though.
Okay, so
I do like the Life Day idea.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take. All right.
They could do something. Okay, so you haven't done Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway yet, but they absolutely could easily overlay that with Christmas stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else.
All right. So let's go to Epcot. So because Epcot has a lot of like I can't.
Well,
think
they
of a
did do
single...
Living with the Land. Living with the Land has an overlay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Right. I guess. Okay, yeah, that's the only one. All right, so outside of Living with the Land, what other ride?
Soarin'.
Christmas Soarin'.
Yeah, Soar over the North Pole.
Questions?
Whoa.
Welcome back.
Still listener questions. Crazy.
Yeah, we're still here.
I like Soarin' though.
Yeah, so you could fly over the North Pole. Like, just do the last scene, you fly over the North Pole.
But they'd have to that doesn't seem like an overlay. That seems like work.
So it becomes like a 2-minute ride. So the wait time goes down to nothing. And
no. Just at the end. Just you still have all.
He's saying like pull a scene, add a scene, but
pull a, or even just added a whole extra scene, like make it a little bit longer.
That throws off the whole game plan of their timing. I feel like you could pull a scene, add a scene, but who's recording that scene?
That's true.
I feel like they're pretty hard to record, and then it would probably be better looking because it would be newer with newer cameras and. But that would be good.
Things up, yeah. I get you. All right. So
what if they just
about
put sleigh bells on the bottom?
You put sleigh bells on the bottom of the seats.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
The person below you is getting
them. No. So you're allowed to kick them. Yeah. So you can kick the sleigh bells in the ones in front of you.
That's pretty funny. I like it. What about a test track? They can make the cars into sleighs.
Sleigh?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be good. That's actually could be the best one. I like that.
Make the cars into sleighs, and you're trying to deliver Christmas presents in time for Christmas.
It seems like more than an overlay, but I could be on board with that.
That almost is turning it into like Radiator Springs Racers type thing, which I would be actually. Oh, if they did Radiator Springs Racers with an overlay, that would be pretty cool.
You're saying just doing. You're not saying overlay test track with Radiator Springs Racers. You're talking about
like cars
overlaying Christmas. Yeah,
like cars, but at Christmas time. That would be cool.
Come on, how cool would it be though if you're on test track and it's like you're trying to deliver presents, you're in Santa's sleigh, you got you
almost get hit by the reindeer instead of the truck.
Yeah, right. Like you almost run into like somebody's chimney or something, or you run into a building. I love this idea. I'm in for this idea. I want to do it. You could probably do Frozen too, right? I mean, they did that whole Frozen short about the holidays, right? So.
Yeah, that seems like such low-hanging fruit, though. Like,
it does.
It's already frozen. Like, you know that it's going to be in Christmas everywhere, right? Like
That's true. That's true. Okay, so I think we've done Epcot, though. So, like, let's do Hollywood Studios. What are you doing? We already said Life Day over
in
in
Tower of Terror.
Yeah, in Tower of Terror. That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you know what you could do? You could actually, Toy Story Midway Mania, you could make all the games Christmas games. You could like and they could do that easily, right? Like the whole point of that ride was supposed to be that they could make changes to it like whenever they wanted, right? So like you just throw some new games in there. What's that?
Which they never do.
Which they never did. But what if they threw like they could have some sort of game with gingerbread houses or where you're throwing cookies or wreaths or something. You know what I mean? There's all sorts of stuff they could do.
Yeah.
They could even do like a crossover with like that prep and landing thing that people watch that I've never seen.
Oh, actually, yeah, that would be good, actually.
Ah, yeah. See,
some
ideas.
That's actually what's missing is a prep and landing overlay. You really need to watch that show. It's actually, I didn't watch it for the longest time either. And then I sat down and watched it, and I was like, dang, actually, they did a good job on this. So
it's funny because we were flipping through Disney Plus, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, let's try to get my daughter to watch that this year. So, but yeah, like. That whole ride, right, is like you don't need to do much. They just need to replace the screen. I mean, they just need to replace what's on the screens. I mean, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
It's a really easy one. So then let's say Animal Kingdom, right? I feel like you can't do anything with Avatar. That's like out.
No.
You can't really do anything with Kilimanjaro Safari either.
Yeah, same. Animal
You can
Kingdom's
do
a
anything with
hard one.
dinosaur. Yeah, there's really nothing in there that you could do anything with. If I really think about it.
Not without it being really forced, right? Like,
Yeah.
like even Everest is not. Yeah, I mean, short of putting a Christmas hat on Disco Yeti, like.
Well, that's what I think would be it. Like Disco Yeti as Santa, that would be awesome.
Disco Yeti Santa.
But, yeah, it would be like a big Santa with the bag instead of him like reaching for you. It's like
exactly.
handing you a teddy bear.
He's a kinder, gentler Yeti.
A bag full of hair ties, that would be perfect.
Oh yeah, a bag full of hair ties.
Giving back
that would
all
be
the
fun
hair
if they
ties.
did that. Yeah, really, Animal Kingdom's a tough one, right? Like, because you can't even do tough to be a bug. Like, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
I can't.
weird.
That's the hard. I mean, it's not really a Christmas park, or like you can't transform it into Christmas like the other ones.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I think we did that one. I think
Okay.
that was a good topic. That was fun. So Blake via Discord said, now that BoardWalk is having highlighted discounts for direct sales, do you think the other old school DVC properties will follow? I didn't have a topic in here about this, but I think Dan sent it in the Discord that Disney is contacting people to buy BoardWalk and offering incentives to buy old BoardWalk contracts, which is so odd to me. Especially when you could get it cheaper through resale still, even with the incentives.
I kind of wonder if it's more maybe a mechanism of they bought up some BoardWalk contracts that they're sitting on, and they're just trying to
offload them.
Yeah.
I think that's 100% what it is.
Yeah. So
I think you're right.
Yeah. So I don't think you're going to necessarily see more discounts. Like you'll probably see random things come up time to time, but it won't be like, hey, we suddenly need to move a bunch of Copper Creek or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I just thought it was interesting that they were even doing that. So
yeah,
all right.
it's kind of a weird resort to do that for, but yeah.
It is, but it's in demand though. I mean, people want to buy BoardWalk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I just don't know if people want to buy at the price that Disney's selling a resort that doesn't have that much time left on it, for what they're selling it for.
Yeah. Unless maybe there is a plan for them to renew it, and it's a bit of a gamble, right?
It is.
Because if they did like what they did with Old Key West and they extend it, maybe buying in now, you're putting yourself in a good position. But it could also be, like I said, I'm thinking more the other way, is that they're just trying, they have some contracts sitting there and they're just trying to lower stock.
Their inventory.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still too pricey, though. Still too pricey. So, last question here is from Julia via Discord. Are there any Rides Lands characters from Disneyland you'd like to see at Disney World? Listen, I mean, I've never been to Disneyland, right? But I know some, a lot of the rides there, most of the rides there, I know of them. But I also fundamentally feel like I like the idea of having there be different things in each park, right? Like I like the idea of them not porting everything between those two parks, because it would give me no reason to visit Disneyland. Like I want a reason to visit Disneyland, and I have one. I have plenty of ones because there's so many unique rides there. So I'm like, don't bring the Matterhorn over. Now, the only one I would say that I wish they would bring over is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which isn't 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea at Disneyland, but I would love to have that at Disney World and be able to ride, the version of it that exists now.
On it, the one at Disneyland is, it's closer to the Nemo ride in Epcot right now.
Yeah, but you're still in the water though, right?
Yeah, but it's, I don't
It's
know.
not like there's no because the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea at Disney World, there were a lot of dark parts, and there was there's the octopus that shook the thing, and it was a little scary, like you were talking about before, and so I'm guessing the Finding Nemo one is in no way scary, right?
Oh no, it has a few moments there, because
Does
there's
it?
like the anglerfish and stuff like that. It's
Okay.
You still have the dark and all that, but I guess it didn't. I went on it and I was not like I liked it before they did the Finding Nemo thing to it, even though like I said, when I was a kid, it legitimately freaked me out. when they took out the 20,000 Leagues, and it was just, I can't remember what they called it, but it was just like a submarine ride.
The submarine ride.
Yeah, it was okay. And then Nemo, when they put in the Nemo stuff, it was, I took my son on it, and I think I was looking for him to be excited, and we went on it, and he was like, I don't want to go on that again. And that was the end of it. So, right. Yeah. And not because he was scared or anything either. It was just, he was like, this is not a fun ride. Like it was, because it's very, I think the thing that you're not remembering is that those submarines are very, claustrophobic. They're very closed 100%. Spaces. Like it doesn't, yeah.
I was a kid though at the time though. As an adult, if I got in one, I probably wouldn't feel the same about it.
Yeah, it's not as fun as you think.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. So, but I mean, is there anything you want to bring over? Like, I mean, I would love to see Snow White come back, but
so two things that I would like to see come over would be the Alice in Wonderland ride. Okay, because I think that is the best of the dark rides. Like it's better than Peter Pan.
Yeah. And
especially with the recent updates they did to it, I really enjoy it. So I would love to see a version of that in Disney World. The other thing I would like to see is the character meet and greet for the Evil Queen. I know we had one at the Wilderness Lodge at the restaurant there. You could meet the Evil Queen, but it was like a photo op, and it wasn't really like a full character meet. And also it was like in the middle of a pretty busy restaurant. The Queen at Disneyland, it's very similar to the Gaston meet, right? Like the character has
where it's like fun and like
yeah. You know, they had the opportunity to be a little bit, you know, snarky,
kind of mean to the guests.
Yeah. And I would love to see that come over. But again, to your point though, none of these things have to come over. Like it's still good to have them on either coast because it gives you a reason to go back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love for Mr. Toad to come back to Disney World, but
you can go ride it in Disneyland.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly right. So
it's just
there's a couple of those classic dark rides that Disneyland has that Disney World used to have but don't anymore. You know.
Yeah. And they're not going anywhere. And even Mr. Toad it's such a weird fever dream. Like,
it's such a weird ride. I remember when I was a kid, it is such a weird ride. Like it is a very odd ride. And I'm sure, I don't know if the one in Disneyland is an exact copy. I mean, if the one that was at Disney World was an exact copy or not, but I mean, it's a weird ride.
Yeah. I don't remember either. Cause I only rode the one in Disney World like once, but the Disneyland one it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's a wild ride. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing to do with the movie, but anyway.
If let's whatever. Yeah. All right. Let's do this ad since we talked already about the physical ID cards to be discontinued for DVC. Although we could talk about that a little bit more.
I don't think there's anything else we need to really cover there.
Well, it's funny. I saw a review recently that said I wish they would talk about what the topics are before they actually talk about them. And I agree with you, and I'm always trying for us to do that, but we tend to just kind of get into a topic without explaining it first.
Right.
And so that's the only reason I just wanted to state, basically that the physical ID cards are going away by the end of the year for DVC Blue Card owners. And so, but it's moving to a digital card, and the digital card is going to be available on the website, but it's also, they're going to add it into the Disney Genie app too. So you're going to actually have access to it within, they say Disney Genie in this article. I think it means My Disney Experience. It's going to be part of your digital ID cards. Like if you have, and I've been using, what is it called? Oh gosh. The thing where you can have, you can add your tickets and everything to your phone and just use your phone. I forget what it's called at the moment, but it's going to be the same thing where you're going to have that card available right there. So there you go. We talked about it. So I think it's more convenient. I'm excited for it. I never really liked when I had to hand my card and like at a restaurant and they had to like take it to their manager and come back. Like I just want to flash my card and be done.
Yeah. I always kept my physical card on me as a backup, but yeah, I would much rather just use my phone.
Ever since they've had the digital version, I have always used the digital version. I took a, screenshot on my phone of it and I would just show it to people every time. Now, funny enough, in the past, some of the cast members didn't like the digital version and would be like, well, we need the physical card. I'm like, then why do we have a digital version? Like, why does it exist? Again, I had a couple cast members give me a hard time about that. It's weirdly enough.
And just, training and getting them to adhere to it is just as much as anybody else. And
exactly. Well, once there's no physical card at all, then this is not a problem, right? Because then no one's going to be able to give a physical card. So
maybe I'll still try to hand in my vintage one.
There you go. And this would all just be easier if they could just scan your Magic Band and go, oh, yes, you're a DVC member in good standing. Like, why do we need a card? I don't know. Whole bunch of logistics behind that. But what's the point?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do our ad. So this is for a DVC rental store. We actually talked about renting out a DVC a little bit before, right? So, and Damon is also trying to rent his out right now through DVC Rental Store. So, the DVC Rental Store, a World of DVC company, offers magical vacations at incredible value. Save up to 60% off retail rates at premium Disney resorts. DVC Rental Store now includes deposits as low as 25% at the time of booking and a built-in cancellation policy with every reservation. And as always, DVC Rental Store pays out the most to members looking to rent their points. Want to learn more? Go to dvcrentalstore.com or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 1-855-382-7368 and let them know that Welcome Home sent you. All right. So, not a lot of stuff going on this week, by the way. Not a ton of news to talk about, but I thought this was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So ILM, what is this? ILMxLAB? Is that what it's called?
I think that's how you say it. Yeah.
Okay.
Meta. Industrial Light and Magic.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what the lab piece stands for. It kind of seems like it's a acronym for something, right? And Meta Quest, which was recently Oculus, right?
Yeah.
Now it's Meta.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oculus Quest.
Are going to preview a special VR experience, Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge in downtown Disney District for a limited time at Disneyland. So, basically, this is going to be it's going to be a virtual reality experience that you can try out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is free, by the way. I think.
Is it?
I don't see anything about costs. It just says, it says complimentary preview.
Oh, okay.
Why did you say it like that?
Because that means it's not going to be as good as it could be.
Well, but maybe they're just testing it out though now. Like they're testing it, and then to make it good so they can do it. And I don't know if this is going to be a thing for the parks or if this is going to be a thing just for at home. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what they're testing this for. They don't really say. But, it says, once inside the Quest 2 headset, you'll be immersed with 360 views of the Star Wars galaxy. Adventure takes place in the outskirts of Black Spire Outpost on Batuu. And there's new and iconic characters from the Star Wars galaxy. And let's see, it says, gameplay was designed for a variety of players, from Star Wars fans to VR gamers. And then, you take on the role of a droid repair technician. And some pirates attack you, you crash on Batuu, and then you kind of, wander around Batuu. So it's interesting. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so it seems still like a, probably like a 10-15 minute thing that you do.
Yeah.
In VR, similar to how they had the Void. But probably, so I guess not as good as the Void because it's not going to be, there's not going to be the additional
the vest where you're feeling the shots getting shot,
or the heat and stuff like that. So it's just going to be a VR thing, which that's fine. And I guess Disney does this from time to time. Like I've seen them do these preview things for shows, or even I remember a couple of years ago they previewed Kingdom Hearts at downtown Disney, and we went and played Kingdom Hearts for like 10 minutes, which I feel like this is the same kind of thing. Is they're just they're promoting a new game. I know you said they weren't clear about whether or not it's going to be at home. I wouldn't be surprised if they have this demo and then early next year you're going to see this show up as something you can download at home to try yourself. Because they're obviously
testing something here, right? So they're testing some sort of experience. They wouldn't just do this for no reason, right? So, but yeah, I have to say I really miss the Void. I wish the Void would come back. I know the company went bankrupt, but I think I read recently that they actually just all their IP and stuff got bought, and that they were going to make some sort of comeback.
Well, I think, I mean, The Void was good. I think Disney just needs to get on it themselves.
Yeah, no.
Like, I mean, this is in Industrial Light and Magic, which is, part of Disney already, or it's part of Lucasfilms. So, maybe they are looking into this. Maybe this is a preview of them trying their own version of it, right?
Yeah, so I'm just seeing an article, and Disney was investors in this company, right? So they did own part of the Void, but they look like they're trying to relaunch it. And let's see here, it's an article on Engadget. The Void so the Void kind of got like kind of all of its property got bought up by a company, and they're supposedly going to relaunch with new equipment. And then, this also mentions because the old gear has become obsolete by lighter devices and new standalone headsets. So, it's reportedly also looking to open its new own larger venues with non-VR attractions. So I would love if they came back to Disney Springs, because we had a blast when we did it. But I mean, I would also love a less heavy, set of gear,
not the 20-pound headset. Like my home VR headset is nowhere near as heavy as what they had and looks just as good.
To be fair, though, it wasn't all about that, though, too, because it was like when you got shot by a stormtrooper, you like felt it. You know what I mean? It like almost vibrated away like you got shot. Like, so it was kind of, that part of it was cool. I thought that was one of the cooler parts of it to me.
Yeah, I mean that's again, that's all an extension of it. Like the base thing is you always start with VR headset and controllers, whether that's the guns or whatever. And then from there, you can go to full body tracking. You can go to feedback vests, all that kind of stuff. It's just a matter, like they said, the technology has changed a lot over the last couple of years. So it's getting something that, is relevant and doesn't feel clunky because they have made improvements over there. The other thing that I get that, they're trying to, we talked about this earlier about, things going back to the old way or back to, I guess, back to normal. I don't like the idea of putting on a public VR headset right now. Like,
well, and Disney's publicly stated before that they will never do VR in their attractions because of that reason. Like, just the capacity issue, like to clean VR headsets and constantly do that. Like, it's just a lot.
But that's what this is that if you got this set up in downtown Disney, you've got people coming and going there, and between each person, you got to make sure those things are clean. Because, I mean, well, technically, it doesn't seem like Disney's really doing this. This is just kind of a partnership with Meta, right? Yeah,
that they're doing. So they're probably not. They're just giving them the space to do it, right? So,
yeah, I still would not.
No, I don't want to do it either. I don't want to do it either. No, trust me, I'm in the same place. So.
Yeah, it's, I'm all for trying this kind of stuff, and I'm hoping that this will pop up on home VR sets at some point. But I'm not. I wouldn't go out of my way to go and try something like this right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I think that's all for that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put this in here because I like this, and this goes back to things going back to normal. Like, I do think we're going to get back to a different place. I mean, like, some things are going to be different forever, but I mean, they were going to change eventually anyway, and the pandemic just kind of made it happen faster. But a lot of these magical things still exist, and one of those things is the holiday sleigh rides at Fort Wilderness are coming back this year. So that's their horse-drawn carriage that's like a sleigh, and you can go do that from December 1st through December 30th, which is cool.
Yeah, and
We meant to do a carriage ride on our honeymoon. I've talked about this before, where they screwed up our time and we never got to do it. But it wasn't a sleigh ride; it was just a carriage ride. So,
yeah, this is I guess this is sleigh rides. I was thinking, I always think of the we always have hay rides around here.
It's an actual carriage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and a sleigh. There's a sleigh for December 1st through 30th, and then the actual regular carriage rides are resuming right after this. So they've been gone during the pandemic, but they're actually coming back to Fort Wilderness and coming back to Port Orleans next year. So that's cool too.
Yeah, that is good. Like I said, for me, it's I'm like you said, I'm glad that these things are coming back. It's just I'm still not at a place where I would jump up and down to get on a sleigh or something like that right now. Like this
one I'd be okay with because it's just you and your party. You know,
right.
It's only 4 people in there, so it's not. You're not with randos, right?
Yeah. That's the thing for me is that when they start like, just pile a bunch of people into into this thing, and I know it's the same as like getting on rides at Disney and stuff, but
this is only 4 adults. It can only fit 4 adults in here, so
okay,
yeah. So all right, you want to talk about some food? You want to talk Disneyland holiday food?
Disneyland. Okay, I was gonna say I thought we talked about like
we did last week. We didn't talk about Disneyland though.
Okay, is there anything here? Like I don't think we need to go through the entire list because we'll be here
no
like another hour. But I mean, is there anything here that you think stands out as like, hey, this is, we should all go. If you were going to Disneyland, you should stop and get this.
All right, so I'll start with the foodie guide to Disneyland. Okay, so first of all, the green alien holiday macaroons look cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they look like the little green aliens from Toy Story. I'm a big fan. I like it.
Radioactive green. Yeah, it's
It's how I want my cookies.
Yeah.
What about the herb roasted pork sandwich? That looks delicious to me.
Where is that? Is that the one
right
offered
below
at Carnation Cafe?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the picture right above. Like, look how good that looks on a nice piece of ciabatta. Ooh, yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, I can feel that, and I guess Carnation Cafe is definitely one of those places. So talking about places to go in Disneyland that you don't have in Disney World. That's one of those places. It's in the middle of Main Street, like it's like halfway down Main Street, which is kind of weird. But outside of this, like they obviously offer the Christmas stuff, but they also do a lot of like waltz recipes there.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. I can see this, stopping and getting a pork sandwich at Carnation. Yeah. Okay.
Now we're getting on here. What about the churros? Any of these churros stick out to you?
They all stick out as looking pretty ugly.
What about the pink one? The pink one looks cool.
More so than the rest.
See, the pink one doesn't do anything for me, though, because it's coconut. And
pink coconut with chocolate marshmallow cream. Ew.
That's funny.
That's too many, like...
It's too many things going on?
Yeah. You got the coconut, and then you're throwing marshmallow, and then chocolate. Like, why?
I mean, I'm only against the coconut. I'm fine with the marshmallow cream. Just the coconut I'm always out on coconut. So let's see here. What about this wedding cake here? The wedding cake. Chocolate cake with buttercream frosting, sour cherries, cream cheese filling. Although that you couldn't do that because of the cream cheese, right? And the buttercream, I guess.
I would actually consider trying that, but the sour cherries turn me off.
Oh, really? See, I like the sour cherries.
I don't like cherries in my cake.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Let's see what else we got here. Just scrolling down.
Yeah.
I'm not really seeing. Good. Where were you at?
This is cake. I'm looking at Market House, I guess.
Market House, man, you like way ahead of me here. The Mickey gingerbread?
No, the holiday cake.
Oh, okay. The holiday cake. Oh, okay, that looks good.
Yeah, with the devil's food cake with
that's Plaza Inn, I think it says. Yeah.
Oh, is it? No. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, devil's food cake with swirled chocolate mousse filling, buttercream frosting, and holiday sprinkles. That looks really good.
Yeah,
I'm in for that. I'm also in for the peppermint beignets. That sounds amazing. I like a good beignet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
What about, do you like to do, I know a lot of people like to do these kinds of sandwiches. They're calling it the holiday sandwich, roasted turkey. It's a Thanksgiving sandwich, roasted turkey, stuffing, gravy, cranberry sauce on bread with chips. I love stuff like that, minus the cranberry sauce because I think cranberry sauce is gross. But outside of that, I'm all for the rest of it. Like I like a good Thanksgiving dinner on a piece of bread like that.
Right. I mean, it kind of I see that because that's how we do end up doing leftovers. Like you take the dinner buns and you make like a turkey sandwich with that. So I can see that. Yeah.
All right. What about a little bit further down here? Dessert nachos, cinnamon crisps with berry compote, whipped cream, and honey cream.
So,
yeah.
So this is specifically at Rancho del Zocalo. I believe is how you pronounce it.
Sure.
The cool thing about this area, so this is in Frontierland, and it's a lot of very Mexican inspired food that they offer. I'm not even actually at the dessert nachos yet. I mean, those look crazy, but
the rest of it looks really good too. Yeah.
The pork pozole, like this Mexican stew, like, a lot of people don't think about, Mexican food at Christmas. Right. But I think there's a lot of stuff there, like a lot of, like family tradition type stuff that maybe people do overlook that, I would just be curious to try this. Like it seems so different from like the normal Christmas stuff. And this also kind of goes back to what Damon was talking about with getting, Christmas food from around the world. If we were going to, this is talking to my future self. Actually, I just realized, because people are going to be like,
feel like we
wait,
talked about this in the same episode.
Yeah. People are going to be like,
listen to the wait list to hear what he's talking about.
What are you talking about? So we're going to talk about something in the future, and this will make more sense then. So
this is what happens when we are talking for over 2 hours.
Yeah. So food from around the world, or, different holiday foods. I think that's a good idea. And that's more what I'm interested in than necessarily getting like, another sprinkle cookie.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. I'm also in for Mexican hot chocolate with cinnamon flavor. That sounds delicious.
Yeah. Did you see the horchata?
I'm not a big horchata fan.
Really? I love horchata.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks good. I mean, I think that's what's pictured in here. It does look good.
Yeah. And the thing is, this says it's rice and milk. So, okay.
Actually, no. What's pictured here, I think, is the eggnog cold brew.
Is that what that is?
I think so. I don't know. They don't really say what it is. I'm just doing it based on the holiday gray stuff being next to it.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I guess. You're right. Yeah, cold brew with the eggnog on top. Yeah, that
looks right. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we can't see the horchata, but I would still do the horchata. Although they're doing it rice and milk, so I might have to go out on that one.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
All right, moving on.
What is this? What is this Mickey shaped cookie thing next to the cake? There's a hummingbird cake. Is that
pineapple banana spice cake?
Yeah, I think that's the one on the left.
Yeah, that's that cake. Yeah. Seasonal monkey bread? Is that what that is?
Could be it. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like monkey bread to me, but
yeah, okay. I was gonna say that's not any monkey bread.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Yeah. Chocolate marshmallow funnel cake fries with cinnamon cocoa marshmallow drizzle, whipped cream, and chocolate sauce. Yeah, sign me up for that. I don't even see a picture of that, but I want to eat it.
All right. Okay. So, all right, let's flip this the other way. We've been talking about things that we wanted to have. This looks like the hot mess of this whole...
The Reuben?
Yeah.
The Reuben?
The pastrami Reuben, that does not look...
I mean, if you're into Reubens, though, it looks amazing. Like the bread that it's on looks delicious, but I don't know. I'm not a Reuben fan, so I'm out on that. But I mean, if you're into Reubens, I feel like you'd be into that.
Yeah, it's I'm just looking at so it's pastrami, caramelized onions. That's a no. Pickled cabbage, Thousand Island dressing, mustard, pickles.
That's not a Reuben, man.
Yeah, I know, but.
Man, there's so much more on this list. I feel like we need to move faster.
Yeah.
Are you anything? I'm just looking to see if anything else is really jumping out to me here.
Let's keep going. What's that purple drink?
Purple drink
at under.
Yeah, I see the picture. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Clarabelle's. Or is that a cozy cone? It's probably a cozy cone.
Blue lemonade fizz, maybe.
Oh, is that all it is?
I don't know. Could be something else. They don't say what these pictures are, they just kind of.
Yeah. This is the hard part is, they're listing all this stuff, but then, they show like 4 pictures. Yeah. And it's hard to figure out, some of them are easy. Some of them.
Yeah. Some of them are hard to figure out which is which. Right. Oh man. I'm going a little further down here.
What are these hot cross buns in the shape of a
Christmas tree? I think they're sourdough. It's Christmas tree pull apart sourdough.
That looks. I mean, how big are those? Like
that's a lot. That's a lot. Maybe you don't get that whole thing though. Maybe they just
right.
Well, but it's called Christmas tree pull apart sourdough, so I guess you would get the whole thing.
Yeah, they sold you one part of a. Here's just a loaf of sourdough, but it came off of a Christmas tree. Right?
Yeah. I'm in for peppermint hot cocoa donuts. That sounds kind of delicious.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Again, I'm looking through this, and a lot of these, it's the obvious Christmas stuff, but I feel like I'm having the same problem with the, everything's like peppermint and this and that. It's the same problem
you have with Halloween.
Yeah, like pumpkin spice everything, right?
Yeah.
And, I get that. And I'm looking for something different on here.
All right. Well, let's go all the way down to the last picture because I'm just looking at Trader Sam's here.
Okay.
As a holiday cocktail served in a Nutcracker tiki mug, and I just want this for the tiki mug.
Yeah, I would add that tiki mug to the collection. I don't need the drink. Like, can you just let me buy the mug?
What I don't understand is how you even drink out of this. Is it just is that a lid on the top?
Or maybe it has like a straw that comes out. Or,
maybe it's just. But how do you? Okay, yeah.
No, I guess they don't do straws. So
yeah, that's true. Okay, well, all right. Let's go to the other one really quick here.
All right,
there's a whole nother one.
This is the California Adventure. Wait, the other one had California Adventure stuff in it, though. I'm confused.
What? This is a different one. This is for the Festival of the Holidays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I got it.
This is for the Festival of the Holidays specifically. Right. So this is the Christmas food and wine.
Okay. All right, right off the bat.
Pork belly. Ooh.
Well, I was looking at the Nashville hot turkey slider with the dill pickle.
What worlds are you?
Okay. Sorry, I
You went too far down?
Yeah, I did.
Right. No, it's okay. I was looking at the braised pork belly with garlic fried rice. That sounds fantastic to me.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, skipping down to
the Nashville hot turkey slider with the dill pickle. I'm in for that too. That sounds good. Because it's probably not going to be really, really spicy. It'll probably be spicy, but not like, really bad. Because anytime any place says anything spicy, it's usually not. Let's see here. There's a lot of Impossible Meat stuff. In fact, I'm not a big fake meat person, but I mean, I'm in for chorizo queso fundido, which even though it's Impossible Meat, that looks really good.
What about this? Or hold on, which one are you at?
I mean, wherever you want to be.
Twist on Tradition Marketplace, the reimagined beef brisket Wellington.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think that's that Mickey ear shaped looking thing. It looks like a puff pastry with beef in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. More Reuben stuff. I know you're not into the Reuben. I don't know what this thing is next to that, but
Reuben potato bites with Russian dressing. Looks.
No, I'm good.
I'm not going to describe it in detail, but it. Yeah.
What about the cinnamon and sugar holiday tart, aka a Pop-Tart? I'm in for that.
The holiday Pop-Tart.
Holiday Pop-Tart. Listen, I'm in for a holiday Pop-Tart.
Well, okay, but you can just go buy a Pop-Tart at like any grocery store.
Yeah, but a homemade Pop-Tart?
Is that?
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure they're making them by hand and they're not like, mass produced. I mean, in a factory.
I hope not. But I mean, I guess of all the things that you could get while you're there, would you really settle on a Pop-Tart?
Probably not. Probably not.
There we go. Yeah.
What about holiday stuffing mac and cheese? Oh, you don't do the cheese stuff, so you can't.
Yeah, I wish, again, if they provided a dairy-free version of that, I would absolutely try that. It looks really good. I do want to try it. I just, I would pass on it just because I would be like, I'm not going to ruin the rest of my day just to try this mac and cheese.
Yeah, I get that. that. Oh man, Carnitas mac and cheese featuring Oaxaca and cotija cheeses with spiced puffed rice. I can't speak. Spiced puffed rice. That's hard to say. That sounds delicious to me. Again, cheese. Sorry, my friend.
Well, but you're right. The problem is that I'm interested in this too. I do want to try.
You want
this.
it? Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I can use things like lactate, but still not. Yeah,
yeah. I get it.
This would be something like I would maybe try this at like the end of my day, so that if I'm not feeling
issues,
I can just go back to the hotel room and sleep it off. And,
yeah. Oh, this holiday mix looks good too. The little Chex Mix in a bag with some white chocolate on there, and that looks really good.
Yeah, as long as it's seasoned well. Yeah,
yeah, as long as it's well done, right?
Yep.
Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to move down a little bit further here. There's some sort of meat sandwich here that I'm trying to figure out what it is because I want it.
So again, there's Viva Navidad at Paradise Garden Grill.
Let's see.
The chili relleno plate. Yeah, there's a lot of good looking stuff here.
Yeah, whatever this sandwich is though, I want to have it.
Probably
I don't know what's on it. It just looks delicious.
It's probably the torta al pastor.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, a telera roll, chorizo, pork, cabbage, guacamole. Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. I'm getting hungry now. Like I'm getting hungry on this show. I need to eat something.
Beef tamales at the Paradise Garden carts.
Really? I'm not a tamale fan.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not a tamale fan. But I'm not saying you shouldn't be. Anybody can be. I'm just not a tamale fan. Not my thing.
And again with the churros.
We got some more churros down here too. There's a chocolate pecan. Did you say pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
Do you see now? You got to think about it, right?
Yeah.
I think I probably say it both ways, depending on just how I end up saying it at that time. Peppermint churro. I know you're out on peppermint stuff, but I like a good peppermint. So.
Okay.
Chocolate hazelnut strawberry. That's interesting. I like that. Like the sound of that. What do they got? Oh, they got a bao bun with seasonal fruit. Crispy bao filled with seasonal fruit tossed in berry sauce and dusted with powdered sugar. Interesting.
So it's a sweet bao.
Yeah, it is. And then you have apple fritter bread pudding, which I am not a bread pudding fan, but man, does that look good.
Really? You don't like bread pudding?
It's all right.
So I would go for this. Yeah.
You've got me anytime you say warm salted caramel sauce. Yeah, like anytime if you say warm salted caramel sauce, I'm in. Like regardless of what it is, you could pour it on the worst thing in the world and I'd probably eat it. Like it's just I love salted caramel sauce. Oh man, what else? We got a couple other things here. There's a cheesesteak going on.
The loaded latke. So
where's that? Traditional
with brisket and soy yogurt, horseradish. Yeah, that's right up my alley.
I would definitely have it without. I think I do go without the sauce. I'm not a big horseradish fan, but the rest of it's
too bad.
Good. I'm good.
You probably just haven't had a good horseradish.
Yeah, maybe that could be it.
I mean, it's spicy, but it's a good spicy.
Yeah. The last thing on here that I'm looking at is just this popcorn that they got, this like trail mix kind of looking thing at Penn Tasting Lab. It's holiday snack molecules, right? No, that's what it is. Gingerbread and Mexican hot chocolate, caramel corn, mini pretzels, honey roasted pretzel, peanuts, dried cranberries, popped sorghum. Yeah,
sorghum. What the heck is sorghum?
I don't know. I feel like I should know what that is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever had sorghum in my life.
Well, now you're gonna make me look this up.
Yeah, now I got to Google. But yeah, I mean that looks good. I would check that out. Looks tasty. So, all right. So I think we did the food thing.
Yeah.
Which, admittedly not as good when it's audio only, but we did it live on last show when we talked about holiday food. So we did it then. So you can go and look at the pictures then. But that's all we got. Let's wrap this thing up and end it.
Yeah. I think that's fair. We've been going for quite a long time, and you guys will hear this next week. So
yeah. And so I will be at Disney next week. So like I said, we'll have an episode still. It'll be, not this coming Monday, or if you're listening to this right now, not this episode, but a week from today, if you're listening to this when it comes out, and we'll have the waitlist show after that. And I'll come back obviously from Disney and give my trip report, of course. So,
and if you guys are at Disney this next week, make sure you go find Tom, because,
track me down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck. Sure. I'm hard to find.
I think we all are. I mean, it's, you're not walking around with a big banner advertising it. So,
I mean, I got my hat. Anybody, by the way, if anybody has any tips for getting sunscreen stains out of a hat, let me know. from my last trip, my welcome home cap. This is going to be gross, but I don't care. Just all the sweating you do in the heat, and so some of the sunscreen got into the hat, and now it's on there, and I can't get it off. So if anybody's got any tips on how to get sunscreen out of a hat, let me know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wouldn't know either. I don't, or yeah. Anyway, yeah.
let's wrap it up.
Okay. All right. As usual, if you guys want to get a hold of us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys. We get all the great listener emails, great feedback from you guys. You can also follow us on social media. So make sure you guys check us out on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast. You can also join the group, which is Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, and be part of the conversation. You get to see all the memes that our listeners post in there. We ask questions to the group. We pull the listener questions from there as well. That's one of the places we pull them. So if you guys want to get something on the show, that's a good place to get a hold of us. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube and Instagram channels. YouTube is Welcome Home Podcast. Instagram is Welcome Home Pics. Anytime we do live shows, you'll see those pop up on YouTube, as we did the live show last week. Instagram is great for following us in the parks. When Tom's there, you'll be able to see pictures and stories and stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever Instagram does, I'll admit I suck at Instagram, but I know Tom's wife helps. Get that
my wife is going to take over our Instagram again, and she is going to post all the things that we eat at Food and Wine. So
perfect. So
we will be doing that.
Yeah. So make sure you guys subscribe there if you want to keep track of Tom's adventures. And if you guys are interested in getting some of your own merchandise, make sure you go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com, and you can find we've got some tumblers on there. We've got mugs. We've got T-shirts, all kinds of stuff. So maybe you'll find something that you want to have around the house that shows you're a fan of the podcast. And anything you buy off of there obviously goes into us helping do more stuff with the podcast, because we don't get paid to do this, but you guys supporting us, it helps us just keep doing the things that we enjoy doing here. Same thing with the Patreon. If you guys are interested in supporting us, go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod, and you can sign up there for a Patreon subscription. We do offer some exclusive merch through Patreon, as well as access to our Discord channel. So you can get on there. And again, Discord is something exclusive where we have more intimate chats with some of our listeners, and more of that back and forth conversation. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check it out. Last but not least, if you guys want to leave us a review on iTunes, we would appreciate that. It does help people finding the podcast, and Tom wants to see more 5-star reviews. So,
we've actually over the past 2 weeks gotten like a lot of reviews. Like I don't know why all of a sudden we just got a bunch of reviews, but we got a bunch of reviews the past 2 weeks. They've all been 5 stars. So thank you all so much for that.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it.
So thank you for making Tom happy, because he likes to see the numbers go up. And
no joke, every time we have a new review, I'm like, I kind of like wince when I press on the button to go read it. I'm just like, oh, how bad this is going to be. And like lately they've all been good. So I've just been like, oh, this is great. But then like, I'm always just like, this is, what are they going to say about how bad we are? Like, it just hurts me. It hurts me deep. So,
but no,
anyway,
we do legitimately appreciate feedback.
We do.
So keep it coming.
I do, by the way, I forgot to do this early in the show, and I'm sorry for this. I want to give a huge shout out to Becky, because shout out. Did I just say shout out? Shout out to Becky. Yeah, shout out to Becky, because a couple shows ago we made a joke about dirty points, and we created a t-shirt in our heads of of dirty points, and Becky made it like immediately, right? And if you haven't seen this yet, join the group. She posted it on the group. And not only did she make it immediately, like as an image, she made them for us and sent them to us. And I just got mine, and it's fantastic, and it's hilarious. And my wife was like, "What does that mean?" And I was like, "You'll have to listen to the podcast episode."
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's an inside joke. And she's like, "Are you going to wear that while we're at Disney?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably." Yeah. So, but she made these dirty point shirts. So thank you, Becky. First of all, for taking our idea and immediately, conceptualizing it and putting it into the real world, and then also sending us the shirts. It was very nice. And I Trevor, I'm guessing you haven't gotten yours yet because everything takes longer to get to Canada. But
yep, I'm the last to get everything.
Even though she's closer to you geographically than Damon and I think. But
yeah, customs doesn't care about that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's fair. So. But I'm sure Damon got his too if I got mine. So, but thank you, Becky. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. I can't tell you how cool it is to have somebody send us stuff like that. It's cool. And just the fact that we had come up with this concept in our head, and then just and just jokingly came up with it on the show, and now it's a shirt. So,
yeah. Just, seeing how other people interpret stuff that we do is just, it's cool, right? Like,
yeah, I'm trying to even remember what dirty points meant.
it was the new points for
it's the new Grand Floridian, right?
Yeah, we were saying, you don't want to buy those points, they'll be dirty because it was. I can't remember how the full conversation went. We'd have to go back.
I can't either. I need to go back and listen to it, but it was funny at the time. So yeah. So anyway, thank you, Becky. Much appreciated. So don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any place you can find podcasts, you can find us. Just search for Welcome Home. Look for the one that's Disney DVC. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a DVC representative or Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Huge thank you to DVC Rental Store for being a sponsor of the show and continuing to sponsor us and supporting the show. We really appreciate it. They have been with us for a long time now, and we appreciate their support. So join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit its hair. How she can cuddle is no